Hi, everyone. My name is Alan Wong. I'm a Public Information Officer for Contra Costa County, and welcome to the Forum of Candidates running for Antioch City Council's District 4. Now, District 4 is bordered by Brentwood to the southeast, Black Diamond Mines to the west, and Contra Loma Regional Park to the north. Today's forum is sponsored by the Contra Costa County Elections Division, Contra Costa Television, and the West County and Diablo Valley League of Women Voters. We are recording these roundtable discussions here in the studios of Contra Costa Television with assistance from the cities of Concord, Richmond, and Walnut Creek. The four candidates are Monica Wilson, Lori Ogerchuk, and Sandra White. Unfortunately, Sean Pickett was unable to attend today. And first of all, let me say that we drew lots before the show to determine the speaking order. So we will begin with Monica.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Monica Wilson. I'm a candidate for Antioch City Council District 4. I'm up for re-election. In my time on council, the city has grown. We've been stagnant at times, but in these last few years, we have made a lot of forward progress. I'm about going forward and not living in the past and trying to move our city forward. We've had very important issues passed around mental health, housing, tenant rights, as well as our youth. So today, I'm here to talk about my re-election campaign and who I am on the city council. Thank you very much.
Lori Ogerchuk.
Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Lori Ogerchuk. I'm actually on the city council right now, and I represent District 3. My area has been taken into District 4, so I will be running in District 4. I've been on the council for the last 8 years, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've lived in Antioch for over 50 years. I've raised my family. 3 kids, and I have 2 that still live in the city of Antioch and a grandson that lives here. I'm married to my husband, Richard, and I'm a real estate agent, and I'm excited again to move forward, running for District 4 and continuing the work that we've been doing. So thank you.
Sure. Sandra White.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandra White. I'm running for Antioch City Council in District 4. First, I want to thank the Women's League voters and CCTV for putting on this event. To introduce myself, I am the Vice President of Human Resources for one of the largest autism organizations on the West Coast, Hawaii and Colorado. We employ over 1,500 clinicians across 14 locations to provide autism services to children on the spectrum. My job as an HR executive is to hire great people and keep them engaged and productive to help them reach their potential. To do that, I am trained in areas like conflict management, change management, project management, and leadership. My specialty is bringing people together from different opinions and perspectives to solve problems for my organization. And I would like to bring these skills to the city of Antioch. In addition to my corporate skills, I provided mental health services to at-risk children as a psychotherapist post-graduate school. My work helped children impacted by trauma, abandonment issues, and resolve conflict resolution within the family home. Growing up in a single family, and started working at age 16, I was taught at a young age to work hard and persevere. My diverse skills will help shape the city council and bring the change that we need to Antioch. Thank you.
All right, well, let's start talking about the issue of homelessness. It's a problem with almost every city in America. And Lori, how should the city of Antioch deal with this?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think that a hotel for 2 years, putting $2.3 million into a hotel only for 2 years using the ARPA funds is sustainable. I believe that we have properties, I know we have properties on the south, on the east side of town, off Delta Fair. And I believe that we should be working with the county in building or getting tiny homes and putting them on there. We need them for families, especially that are living in their cars with their children, going to school, trying to go to school. We have seniors that we need to help and veterans that we need to help. And I think if we work with the county as partners, I believe that that plan could be very successful.
Monica?
Yes. When it comes to our in-house, first of all, we need to be compassionate, because these are individuals that are part of our community. There's the mythos of they've been shipped in, but they are a part of our community, and we need to think in terms of compassion. Yes, we could say, yeah, let's wait for the county to help us on this, but for years I've been always saying, hey, the county's coming, the county's going to help. Superman's not coming. The county's not coming, and we need to definitely make investment and strides on the issue around housing for our unhoused. That's why I was a big supporter of investing in a transitional housing, because we need to get those individuals who want to be off the street into transitional housing with resources around medical, around legal, around workforce development, around just life skills, to get them on their feet and into permanent housing. Because we just can't expect them, us to go to them and say, hey, just go find a house or go get a job. That's like somebody walking up to you and say, hey, go build a car. If you don't know how to do it, you need somebody to show you through those steps. So I believe a lot of resources, investment in resources for our unhoused, to get them off their feet and into permanent housing, into jobs that pay a livable wage, and really also being very mindful of the housing situation that's going. There is a housing crisis, so not only do we have our unhoused, we have a potential of tenants possibly being pushed out of their homes as well. So we really need to think of it as, in its totality, and not just, hey, can we kick this person out of the city or get rid of them. You can't do that. You really need to have solutions going forward, and how to, what we're going to do around our unhoused. So really, that investment, I was very proud to make that investment in the transitional housing piece.
Sandra White, how should Antioch deal with its homeless problem?
Well, first, all the proposals that were spoken have been tried by the state, county, big major cities. We spent billions of dollars in this state. Everyone's trying the same approach and not getting the right results, because there's so many different levels of homelessness. It's not a one option fit all. We first need to break homelessness down. We have the homeless due to economic reasons. These are the people that may be living with relatives, what they call couch, surfing, home to home, or maybe they don't have someone that they can go to. Those individuals we can work with immediately, get them into employment, development skills, get them employed. I mean, just look around. We have, everywhere you go, everyone is hiring, right? So the question is, why can't we get these people working? My organization is hiring. We can't find anyone. So, finding employment is not the issue. It's just a matter of doing. The second is, then we have the mental illness, and then we have people with substance abuse problems. You cannot put someone that have severe mental illness due to long suffering, post-traumatic stress, or whatever caused those triggers for them, or long-term substance abuse problems for years, and think we're going to provide them psychotherapy. Let's send the mental health people out on the street to talk to them, and then we can transition them into housing. No, what we need in East Contra Costa County is detox centers. When you have people that have suffered from, mental illness for decades, and or have a substance abuse problem, their physical bodies become dependent on those drugs. We need to detox them first. Once we detox them through a program, then we transition them into mental health support, psychotherapy. During that stage, we're working with them with skill development while we are housing them. Otherwise, we put individuals in housing. They're not getting employment because they can't. They're dealing with too much trauma or substance abuse problems. And then we have a city, a county, and a state for long term that continue to take care of these people. So I propose partnering with local hospitals and find how do we open up detox centers. We spent billions of dollars already in this state, and we still have a homeless problem.
course, limited funds for it to deal with this issue. Aside from the homeless problem, Monica, what is the most important budget issue out there?
You know, really, when you think about everything in its totality, it's continuing with the forward movement of our city, not thinking backwards, not relying on, well, we didn't do it this way 5 or 6 years ago. How do we move forward? I think in this, I know in these last 2 years, we've made great strides. We've made great strides around mental health. We've made great strides around police reform. We're making great strides around making sure that everybody in the community is heard and that they have a place that they feel comfortable going to if they have a concern with the city or if they need some type of resource for the city. We continue working around climate change, whether it's our environment. Do people, are people breathing clean air? Do they have access to clean, healthy water? Really, those are the issues that we need to be concentrating as a city overall. What is the public safety? And when I talk about public safety, I talk about all those issues, whether it's environment, health, police department, and people's just well-being in the city, just really looking at its totality. So when we look at the budget and going forward, we need to look at all of those and not just one singular item.
Lori, what's the most important budget issue in your opinion?
Well, our police services are lacking right now, and it's we don't have enough officers. People in the city don't feel safe. Our citizens deserve to feel safe. We're at 60-plus officers, and that's with command staff. So how many officers does that put on the street at one given time? So when we talk about public safety, sure, it encompasses a lot of things, but people want to be safe. They want to go home and know that there's going to be an officer when they call. Somebody's going to come to that call. And right now, that's one of the major complaints that I'm getting is that no officers come. Well, we don't have enough on staff. So we just recently passed an incentive program that's going to take place hopefully pretty soon to where we have officers lateral, and it goes, there's a breakdown of 25, I don't know the exact, I think it's 15, 25, whatever, after certain benchmarks are hit. And once those benchmarks are hit, then they get those funds. So hopefully that's going to help us get some more lateral officers in and some new officers in. But we need to make sure that the quality of officers that we get are there. Antioch Police Department has had a very high quality, have very high standards on their hiring practices. And I believe the interim police chief Ford will continue to do the same.
Sandra White, what's the most important budget issue for you?
I'm in agreement. We all want to breathe clean air and we need to be concerned about the environment. But I can't, be concerned about the environment and breathing, clean air if I'm in fear. Fear for my safety, fear for my family's safety. When I moved to Antioch 13 years ago, I never thought I would have to worry about getting hit by a stray bullet in a drive-by shooting. You don't think about those things in the suburbs, but that's what we are facing in the city of Antioch. Public safety is the #1 goal and focus we need to resolve right now. We are at 38 active officers on our street. 38, yes. So in any given day, 24-hour span, there's only 6 officers. It takes one incident. All 6 officers have to show up to that. So that means the rest of the city is unprotected. That's a priority for me. That's a priority for the citizens of Antioch. And that's a priority for our children. Safety first. Then the second we want to look at when we're talking about budget, there's so many needs in our city, the city of Antioch. You wonder, okay, why can't we have, all of these balls in the air? Well, we need to have resources. We need to have money. But if we're depending on cannabis to save us, we will continue to deal with these critical issues that our city is facing. We have lack of police officers. We have lack of resources. Back in 2020, we had, 248 homeless people in our city. Now we have 350. So it increased by 100. So that doesn't sound like, to me, we're making any improvement on mental health. The numbers have increased. So we need to prioritize what's more important in our city. Let's secure our city first. Let's bring resources to our city. And let's try to create an environment where people feel safe.
Yeah, it's a daunting task. Would you agree, Monica, that it's police right now?
No, I don't think it's 100% police. I understand, people, concerned around public safety, but there's a lot of issues going on. I'm sure the people in Jacksonville, Mississippi are concerned about public safety, but they also have an issue with their clean water and infrastructure. So we need to make sure our infrastructure is right. We need to make sure, yes, resources are here. And I understand what you're saying around, mental health and the resources that we're providing at the transitional housing. But those resources and the levels will be covered within those within mental health and the resources that we're going to provide at the housing. But we need to think outside of law enforcement, because for many, many years, our police department has had close to 70% of our budget. So while our other departments have been struggling, what do I say to an employee in public works or an employee in another department where I don't have enough funding for them to do their portion of the job because we had to shift it over someplace else? So we need to find balance within our budget to make sure that all of our areas are rightfully funded, and that people can do their jobs and make sure for the well-being of the citizens of our city.
Lori, did you want to respond to that?
This PD does take up the largest portion of our budget. She's absolutely correct. But they're the largest department in the city, and they're the highest paid employees because they're out protecting us as citizens. So I kind of feel they should be making that. They're putting their lives on the line every single day. And when you have 6 officers out there, and yesterday there was a shooting, they're all gone. There's nobody else to cover the city. So yes, we are getting help with the mental health. We have mental health coming, and they will be helping with our officers and taking some of the load off the officers. But we also need to hire code enforcement to help the officers. So there's a lot of needs within the city, but we can't be spending our money on things that's one-time funds like the homeless hotel, the transitional housing that she's talking about. That's only for 2 years. Those are ARPA funds. Those ARPA funds are gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. They're used. So how do we continue to do this? We're building up a momentum that we can't sustain.
Mm-hmm.
I want to turn our attention to some controversy that's taking place in Antioch. The mayor of Antioch has been embroiled in some controversy. He was recently arrested for DUI back in May. Yesterday, 2 council members called for his resignation after the county settled a $350,000 lawsuit for sexual harassment accusations while Mayor Lamar Thorpe was the director of Los Medanos Healthcare Systems. Sandra, do you support the recall of the mayor?
Oh, absolutely. Let me just explain to the viewers how investigations work when it comes to sexual harassment claims. And I'm speaking from a professional perspective because I'm an HR executive. Claims in my company come to me. You investigate these claims. You interview the plaintiffs, you interview the defendants, and you collect evidence. The only way a company and or organization will settle a claim if first they evaluate the cost of what it will to fight the claim. That is accurate. Sometimes they just settle it out. But here's the difference with this particular situation. There was no confidentiality and or waiver signed or put in place, meaning we will go ahead and settle in private, and it's kept quiet from the public, and it goes away. Those are the ones that we just don't want to invest a lot of resources in fighting it. Let's just have it to go away. This particular claim was settled. This particular claim was made public, which means there was no confidentiality or waiver put in place. And generally when that happens, there is significant amount of evidence. Okay, the board, the county, the supervisor county board maybe saying their titles incorrectly, voted unanimously
To settle it.
to settle it.
Okay.
That generally signals there was enough evidence to support that the accusations brought forth by the current mayor was credible.
Okay, so you feel like he should resign?
Absolutely.
Full disclosure, Lori Ogerchuk, you were one of those 2 council members who called for his resignation.
I did.
Tell me why.
Because of the county supervisor settling the claim for $350,000, which does not include their back pay, their forward pay, and their severance pay. These 2 women came forward. It took courage for them to come forward to say what had actually happened to them. They put it in writing. I feel strongly that I need to support women on the Me Too clause. They had strength. It took a lot. And Karen Mitchoff, I'm going to read something to you. I wrote it this morning.
We got about a minute and a half.
I apologize. I spoke with County Supervisor Karen Mitchoff this morning. She said, and I quote, "After the completion of the investigation and based on credible facts, they settled the case. So therefore, they're not going to go ahead and settle this case if they don't have the facts straight."
Monica Wilson, where do you stand?
I'm not all about a witch hunt until investigation is done. As Councilmember Orgachuk knows, we've settled quite a few cases on council where it was financially beneficial if we went ahead and settled instead of going through a case. Right now, the information I'm seeing is what was said, without any finding or admission of fault or liability by person or entity. I still think there's still information out. I'm also, I do work for an organization that works with survivors of human trafficking, but we also believe in this same organization that people get fair process. And I feel like not all the information is in, and I'm not about to do a witch hunt on an individual before I have all the information in. So right now, I'm not, and I hear you over there, Ms. White.
No, because, I know this is an East question, but this is really something important to me. And I take these type of allegations serious. What I'm explaining here is when unanimously there's a vote, okay, the investigation is completed. I do not
But according to the information to the public,
who's
not all
going to
information.
come out and say, yes, I did these things? Who's going to come out and say that? I'm not anticipating the mayor will come forth and admit to these claims. I'm telling you, behind closed doors,
that you're assuming
in the process, how this actually works, okay, that to settle a claim, there must be, and to allow the information to be released to the public.
They didn't feel like it was worth fighting, is basically what you're saying.
No.
I got to stop you here.
Okay.
So, we got to thank our candidates for answering these questions. Now, each of our candidates will have 2 minutes to make their closing statements. We're going to start with you, Sandra.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Dear voters, help me bring the change we need to our community and restore the city of Antioch to the premier designated area to live in East Contra Costa County. As your city council leader, I will help build a vital business community that will attract more businesses with good paying jobs. Implement a robust business strategy to lure corporations to Antioch, generating responsible tax revenue dollars for the city. Cannabis will not be our business development plan. I will combat homelessness smartly and competitively pay our hardworking city workers. I will bring our police force to an adequate level to reduce crime and improve community living by offering our citizens options for family engagement and individual fun and activities. My opponents served collectively for 20 years on city council. I ask yourself why we keep voting for the same people and expect different results. Help me bring the change that we need to get the city of Antioch back to being the choice designated city to live in East Contra Costa County. Thank you.
Lori Ogerchuk.
Thank you. Thank you to the League of Women's Voters for this opportunity today. My first priority is something that we've already discussed, is the safety of our residents. We've just passed an incentive program for our police department to entice laterals to apply. Hiring of police officers is my main priority. Majority of our constituency that reach out to me, they just want to feel safe. They want to go home, feel safe. They want their children to feel safe. My other issue is code enforcement. With the assistance of code enforcement, we can work on cleaning up the blight. Blight is a huge issue. But first, we need to hire more code enforcement officers. Financial sustainability is very important to me. We're using ARPA funds for certain projects such as a hotel. It's $2.3 million for 2 years, just for 2 years. What happens after those 2 years? What will we as a city be able to do after those 2 years? We have properties in Antioch that we could work with the county to purchase tiny homes for those that are homeless, such as families, veterans, and our seniors. Our seniors are now the #1 individuals that are becoming homeless. I've been on the council for the last 8 years, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love working with all of our residents, and that's why I've decided to run again for District 4. I would like to ask the residents in District 4 for their vote, and you can reach me at 925-628-7764 or my email, therightHome4u@yahoo.com. Thank you very much.
Monica Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today, and thank you all for being here today. My name is Monica Wilson. I'm a candidate for Antioch City Council District 4, and I'm here to humbly ask for your vote. These past 2 years have not been easy. The COVID pandemic, high gas prices, and the rolling back of women's rights with the Supreme Court overruling of Roe v. Wade. Racial inequality is still here rearing its ugly head, and as I told you 2 years ago, this was going to be a difficult journey. As a council member, I championed a law that banned oil and gas drilling in our city, fought to shut down a pipeline that transported gas throughout Antioch, as well as voted down a new gas station that was adjacent to residential property. When the community wanted to see police reform, I stood with you and demanded a citizens police oversight committee, stronger laws against use of force, and a new city department that was focused on community engagement, and public safety. I will continue to advocate for those who do not have a voice, those who have experienced trauma or have suffered from mental illness. I will continue to fight for services that they truly need and not criminalize them. I'm proud to say that the 24-hour mental health response team is coming to fruition soon. Recently, I fought hard to pass a rent stabilization ordinance, and I'm proud of those of us on council who were brave and courageous enough to fight for this. However, I do realize this fight is not over, and there's more for us to do to protect our residents, such as anti-harassment. I will fight on the local, state, and federal levels to make sure women have a right to reproductive freedom. Our bodies, our choice. What happened with Roe v. Wade is a travesty. In addition to fighting for my seat on council, I'll be fighting for yes on Proposition 1 on the November ballot. Again, my name is Monica Wilson, and I'm asking for your vote on Antioch City Council District 4. My website is monicawilson4, F-O-R, antioch.com. Thank you.
This concludes our forum with 3 of the 4 candidates running for Antioch City Council District 4. Once again, the candidates are Monica Wilson, Lori Ogerchuk, and Sandra White. Also, Sean Pickett was not able to be with us. For more in-depth information on the candidates, ballot measures, and who supports them, go to votersedge.org. The last day to register is October 24th. All eligible registered Contra Costa voters will receive a vote-by-mail ballot for the November 8th general election. And you can find detailed information on the upcoming election on Contra Costa County's elections website, cocovote.us. Again, I'm Alan Wong, Public Information Officer with Contra Costa County. I want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to vote on November the 8th.